Hey there, fellow SEOs. We're always looking for tools and tips and tricks to help make our lives and our jobs more easier and become more efficient and proficient in what we're doing for our sites, our clients, our own sites. And today I'm going to be showing you something that is really invaluable and very inexpensive. I'm Paul Facey, and today I'm going to be showing you a simple tool that will make your SEO tasks more proficient and make you become more efficient at what you're doing. As SEO agencies, the one thing that's more important to us than the money that we get paid in from our clients itself is our time, right? Because we know that we can get the money back or we can generate more funds, but one thing we can't get back is time. And today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to quote unquote buy back your time, right? And so without further ado, let's get right into it. And the tool that I'm talking about is called Paste It In. Paste It In. And I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to shift my cameras and bring it all the way over so that I could bring it into the screen here. Bear with me. All right, so there we go. All right, so this is a tool. It's basically a copy and paste. It replaces your clipboard, right? And I can't begin to tell you the amount of time this tool has saved me since I've been using it. And I've been using it for years. And if I was to multiply that out, it'll be countless, right? So anyhow, let me go into it. So as you can see right here, it's called pasted in, pasted in, right? It sits right there in the top. You can put it wherever you want. You can place it wherever you want on your screen, right? So I'm just going to show you some of the ways that I use it and some cool tricks and tips as I will go along, right? When I double click on it, it folds down. It unfolds. If I double click again, it unfolds, right? And it rolls up. When you first download it, first of all, let me just get this out of the way. It only costs 20 bucks, right? And it comes with a 30-day free trial. So you cannot get any better than that, right? Compared to the value that you're going to get from this. So here it is in your taskbar, and you're going to have to go to setup and you're going to have to enter in your license. After the trial, the 30-day trial is passed. So every time you open it, it's going to tell you have how many days remaining. So these are the settings. So you show the button on startup, right? This so that it shows or it starts whenever your computer starts, right? And you have the option to not copy when minimized. So when it's minimized or when it's rolled up or unfolded, you have the option to, whenever you copy something new, it folds down, it unfolds. And you have the option to choose whether or not you want that feature enabled, obviously. So we use the advanced tracking window. What that means is if I have it here, whenever, so we have different groups. So whatever groups you're working on and wherever you have this located on your screen, whenever that group gets activated, then that's where the window is going to pop up. And you'll see that in just a second. Right? So we have the option to either fade up or roll up or to minimize it. And after certain minutes of inactivity, you get to set that, right? I have it where it folds up. As you saw earlier, I double clicked it, folded up, and when I double clicked again, it unfolded. And you could, if you choose transparency, then you would have to you choose the transparency level and you choose restore clipboard and activity so that whenever you copy something new, it unfolds and make whatever you just copied at the top. So you choose the location where you want a daily backup to go, and whenever, if you're working on something you have to restart your computer, you could just hit this button and do a backup now, right? And then you could back up every day, and then this is where the backup files are located. And if you ever want to restore, that's the beauty about this, and that's one of the features I love about this. If you're working and something happens and the computer restarts or whatever, you can restore all your windows and all the links and everything that you copied over. It'll be restored back. And so I'm not going to go into all the features there, but I'm going to go into the use cases. So for example, you always copy and paste in, whether it's content, links, whatever. So in this example, let's say I'm going to be doing all of these, right? And if you're working on your clipboard, as soon as you copy one thing, the previous thing gets overwritten, right? So I'm going to copy all of these out. First of all, I'm going to make a new group. So right now it's going to come with a default group, and you have the option to click in group options. You can do a new group, rename group, delete group, copy group, and group options. So I'm going to go to group options here, right? And we have two groups. So you can choose the number of buttons, and what that is this is the number of buttons from top to bottom. That's how many buttons there are, and you could choose how many you want, right? And then you could choose the button size, the width, the height, and then once you do that, you click set size, right? And then you could play around with all of these right here, right? And then you could do from top to bottom or bottom to top. That's up to your preference. Okay, so let's go into some of the examples now, right? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a new group, and I'm going to call it demo. And you just have to bear with me. So we see we have a new group, and notice where the window is, right? I'm going to move it over here. So we only have this amount of tabs. So we could change the size for this. So we're going to go to group options. So I could make this 128 width, and I could set the size, and right away you see it gets wider. And if I want to make these more narrow or wider, I could go up or down, and then you set size, and then you see it's not more narrow, right? Now the number of buttons, I'm going to go and hit 40. I'm going to get set. Right away you see it's 40 and it's empty. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out. So there we go. So we have 40, right? Now, one quick shortcut here. If you go ahead and click on this down arrow, you see that we have 3 groups, right? But if you want to switch quickly between groups, you can just right click on the arrow and it switches to the group, right? And notice if I move this over here and I'm in demo and I go and switch to default, okay, let's just stick with this for now. Let's stick with demo. And so I'm going to go ahead and copy stuff. I'm working, I'm going to copy stuff. I'm copying that, right? And copy that. I'm just going to go ahead and just copy these out real quick. These out, okay? Okay, just for an example. So now we're in a website, we're doing whatever, and we want to go and paste these things. So now we have them in our tool, right? Or replacement clipboard is what I call it. So first of all, there are 2 functions. There's 2 mode of operation that I like to call. One is the free flowing and one is the permanent. All these buttons, whenever we reach the last one and it's full, whenever we copy something new, then the last one in the bottom is going to get knocked out and overwritten. So and so on and so forth. So this is why it's called a free flowing. So now if I want to make these permanent, I'm working on a project. So what you could do if you're working one particular client site, you label the group, the site name, and all the important things that you use over and over again. You copy them over here, and here's the trick. You're gonna go ahead and right click on it and make permanent, right? You won't see it now, but I'm gonna show you how where it is. I'm gonna make this permanent again. And you could do this in bulk, right? So you could go ahead and go to group options, and you could come here and just make permanent, 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 right? So because we have 40 buttons, whenever we add permanent buttons, it adds to the bottom. So what we have to do to get them to show up is we have to reduce these. So I'm going to put this to 30. I'm going to set that, and now we see we have the ones that we made permanent, and we still have room to go more, right? So as an example, now these, what you could do, you could even go ahead now and just automatically remove these, but you want to have it as free flowing, right? Because sometimes you want to have a free flow. Now all of these are stored here permanently. So anytime you need to use these, you just go ahead, and in this example, I'm going to bring up a notepad here and just create a normal text. And I'm going to resize my window here. All right. So now that we have this over here, so I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to just click, bam, enter, click again, click again, click again, click again. And you can just see, and by now you can see how much time this will save you, right? Right. And they, I clicked on them, and I pasted them in, but if I needed to go back to them, they're still here. And you could hover over the mouse over it and you could see them. Now, if you want to keep a track of what's not being used, all you have to do to make it active again is just to right click and edit and just click OK, and bam, you see it comes back as highlighted, right? And if you want to clear stuff out, so we have a whole bunch of stuff, and let's say I don't want these, right? I'm just gonna go ahead and right click and click clear. Now it's empty, and go ahead and click clear, right? So even though I clear those, I have them here permanently, right? So you create your own flavor, right? So now, just to go, I think you already understand and see how you could use this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and share some more of some of the tips and the ways that I use it. And let's go now back to groups, right? Now, if I wanted to go ahead, I could go ahead and just clear with group options. I could mark all of these unused, right? And it's going to ask me if I want to mark it unused, and I'll go yes. And everything now becomes highlighted again, instead of having to do it like this manually, where you go in, you edit, right? So once you paste it, it it goes black, right? But if you want to if you want to make it active again, then you just go ahead and edit and hit OK. Or you could just come ahead and just do group options and mark all as unused, and everything will be enabled or highlighted back again, right? Or active, right? So you could even go ahead, say for you have all these buttons and you want to search for some things. Let's say we want to go ahead and search for something that has location, right? You're looking for a specific word, right? So you're going to go ahead and I'm going to search location. So every one of these tabs that have the word location in there is going to show for all the groups. So you're going to have to look at which group that you're in, and you see if I'm in the demo group, then these are all that contains the word location and the button and the text. And you could show it, you could click, you could edit, whatever, right? Now, let's say you're working on one client site and or working on a bunch of website or a bunch of SEO tasks, or you're doing blogging, or you're writing content for pages or whatever, posts, whatever. And you say, you know what? I found this Peter article or text, and I want to copy it to all my other groups. Very simple. You just highlight on it, and then you copy to group, and then you choose the group you wanted to copy to. So if I wanted to copy this one now, this one particular one to copy to default, I'm going to copy to default, and it's going to go right to the top row in default. So if I go to default, it's going to be, when I mean top, it's going to be at the bottom. So it's not going to go start from top to bottom, it starts from bottom to top. So you'll see it right, it's copied it right over here. And then if you want to make it permanent, you can just right click and then make it permanent to this particular group. So you get the idea there. So that's another tip. Say we want to go back to the demo group, I'm just going to switch to it. And now, if I'm here in the demo group, you have the option now to go in, and because these are permanent, you could rename them. So this permanent one here, by default, it stays there permanent, but there's nothing inside of it. So you want to go in and edit it, and then you could put whatever in your, or you could clear it out, right, or remove it. And let's show you how you do that. You just go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and delete this button. Yes, and it's gone. So now if you want to rename this, say edit, and let's say this is the post title or whatever, right? And then the button hint is whatever is going to show whatever. If it's left blank, it's going to show whatever is inside of here, right? And just to show you an example of that, when I hover over it, you see whatever is inside of the description or the text area. Now, if it's a lot of words inside of it, let me get some text here. Let's get this and copy this over. And so if you also want to, in a situation where you don't want it to overwrite stuff, here's what you do. You right click on whatever button, you edit it, and then you could always copy while you have this over. And when you copy stuff, it's not going to replace any of the buttons over here because you have this window open, right? So I copy these over and I select all and I paste, right? Now all of that is there. And see, it did not copy up here because I had the window open. So whenever you have the window open, you could copy from different in and out, right? So you could copy from, which one was it? So this was the one, right? So we could copy from here out to an external document or external page or wherever, and we can do vice versa, right? So now if I hover over this, you see it's going to tell me, it's going to show me everything that's inside of it up to like maybe about 10 lines. But if you want to see everything that's inside of it, you have to click the edit to see whatever inside of it. And if you don't want to see everything when you hover over, you just type some text here. Now, when you hover over it, it's going to show you just text, right? So that's how you do that. And let me see one last tip. So the one last tip that I want to share is if for any reason that you want to make it wider and have even more buttons available, you could go ahead and you could choose options, group options, and instead of one column, you could choose 2 columns, 3 columns. You create set, and there you go. Now you have 3 columns. So you got to move it all the way over now to see you have 3 columns. If that's your preference, fine. So you could always mix and match, make your own flavor, right? So hopefully that, I know I was a little bit all over the place with this, but I'm just excited to share this because I'm not sure why I haven't shared it earlier, because this is such an invaluable tool for me that has saved me enormous amount of time, countless, right? And the links to all the links are below in the description. If you're watching on YouTube, let's go ahead, and if you like this video, go ahead, subscribe, give it a like, leave a comment, let me know what you think. If you have any cool tips that you want to share or add, feel free to share it in the comments. And I look forward to posting more videos like this so that we could help each other become more effective, more efficient, and deliver better results in our work as SEO consultants, agencies, owners, whatever. All right, peace out. Oh, wait, I almost forgot one of the most important part, and that is the quick fixes, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and just bring up one of these right here, and so all right, that's not, okay, so this is what I wanted to show you, the quick fixes. So we have these texts right here, right? And I'm gonna do a demonstration of 555121. Okay, so I am gonna go ahead now and we do the quick fixes. So first of all, what we did was did a right click, edit the button, and we have the quick fixes here. And I'm gonna do the number again, right? And now quick fixes. Now we could change to uppercase, right? Okay, we don't want to do that. So if you want to undo it, and what you'll do is just go ahead and I'm going to cut this just so I have it. I'm going to cancel, and then I'm going to go back in, and this is going to leave it as is, right? So we could go ahead and we could do quick format. We could format phone number. So it strips everything out, and then it only leaves the phone number. And you see how I had it without the proper format, and it automatically set it to that. So if you have a bunch of numbers, this is one quick way to do that, right? So I'm going to cancel and go back in. And now the other quick fix is capitalize first letter, right? You want to do a title, an email subject, whatever. You just go ahead and do that. We'll change it back to lowercase, right? If we have leading arrows, greater than, less than, we can remove those, remove leading spaces, trim trailing spaces if I have a space there, and then go ahead and trim trailing space. Bam, it's gone. Okay, and you can split buttons, and so that's it. So that's it. You have the quick fixes. You could access it from within each individual tab or button, or you could do it from here, right? You could just right click, and then you could access it from here. You can do it from here also, and you could customize it and do whatever you want, and you come up with your own format and all that cool jazz. So here's another thing that you want to add to your toolbox or tips and tricks. So if I wanted to move any one of these tabs, I could just right click on it, right? Right click and hold. Click and hold, right click and hold, and you drag it. And then you see it puts it right at the top. If I drag it, I can put it wherever I want it, right? Just right click and drag. So if you have something on the bottom here and you want to put on top so it doesn't get overwritten, you just go ahead and move it up. All right, that's it. There it is, an extra bonus tip just for you. All right, have a good one now. Talk later.